Welcome to the Toffee TV, and it's the match preview. Everton versus Manchester United. A game that Everton go into above Manchester United, John?
Yeah. And Tottenham. And
well,
others.
yeah, but we're not playing Tottenham.
And others.
Yeah,
but
we're not above Tottenham.
Oh, no, because they've got better goal difference. They've got a better goal difference, yeah.
We're on the same points as Tottenham. So. But,
morally, we're above them, yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
And Palace, we're morally above them.
Of course.
Because we beat both of them recently.
Obviously, Manchester United, a team that the name carries them along more than anything. But it certainly seems to be carrying this team on because they're not having a very good season, and ultimately they're not really that good, are they? I mean, you know, I think people keep on expecting them to be good, but they're not good. It's very strange.
They are less than the sum of their parts. Some really good players, some less good players, but some really good players. But as a team, they've got real issues, haven't they? Yeah. I'm guessing they've got real issues in the dressing room. You know, bad apple's been sent off to Villa, but presumably that wasn't the only bad apple in the barrel. And it remains to be seen how bold, I suppose, United's leadership can be in holding on to this manager in these circumstances. And every defeat makes it harder and harder for them, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a very strange situation, isn't it? Because they obviously brought Amram in, and his record's not brilliant in the Premier League. It's not too bad if you factor in the Europa League in the FA Cup. Sure. But his Premier League record, 4 wins.
Is that what it is?
2 draws.
In how many games?
14 games.
It's not great, is it?
Which, is only what?
That's Dyche level,
that's
isn't
a point,
it?
Well, it's a point more than David Moyes has got in his time at Everton.
Yeah, and half the games.
Yeah, so it's
Moyes is doing exceptionally well, though.
No, he is. But you look at them as a club.
Well, that's a less than 10 win season, isn't it?
Yeah. But you look at them as a club as well, though, and they just seem to have so many problems. And there's Ineos are trying to. A lot of rumours about Ineos trying to get the money out of Spurs and trying to get the money out of Formula 1 at the moment. So they seem to be a little bit all over the place, leading to rumours that maybe they're trying to get their money out of Manchester United as well. And it's obviously leading to all this uncertainty, and they're very close to PSR. So it's not like
they have to sell. Yeah.
So it's not like they can have this massive rebuild. And the players they do sell are not going to get anywhere near the value that Man United would want for them. And also those players are on huge wages, like Rashford,
Marcus
Rashford at the moment, so they seem to be in a real sticky place.
The challenge to that is it's curious because we spoke about this in of the last year or two that Manchester United, we could see it coming, couldn't we? They were our Everton's disaster on steroids. Yeah, all the double and triple the turnover, but double and triple the wage bill, and so on. So you're quite right, there are players there which they have paid silly money for, which even if they were able to move them on, they'd take a real hit in transfer fee, which again would be negative to PSR. Yeah. So it's almost like there must be, to some degree, they've got to make it work with what they've got. Or they've got to actually sell those players they don't want to sell because they're the ones that they can really realise income for. So big challenge for them, and don't know how long it can go on for. I mean, we're about to preview the game with us, aren't we? And me and Baz talked on the live last night. If we play the team, I call it not the club, Baz was saying the badge. But if we play the team, we expect to get a good result out of it. And that's another nail in where they are, which is extraordinary. They're fundamentally sliding down the league, aren't they? Yeah.
Well, obviously, last game out, they were beaten by Spurs 1-0.
Who, again, themselves are not great in confidence, but at least they got 1,001 injuries.
They were beaten by Palace, they beat Fulham, they were beaten by Brighton, they beat Southampton.
Drew at Arsenal, didn't they?
Yeah, and won on pens, and then they were drew with Liverpool before that. Yeah. So they've gone into some games recently where it's like backs to the walls. When they went to Anfield, everyone expected a defeat, and they sort of went there and went in almost as in like, we're the underdog, we've got to get something from this game. But I just wonder what we're going to face, because I mean, of course, they've got lots of injuries. Lots and lots of injuries, and the bench on last Sunday when really they were beaten by Spurs, it was just all kids. Yeah. And they only made one sub, and that was in the 90+1 minute. And that was for Casemiro, and I'm surprised he lasted that long. But they've just got it's just all kids. You can see the graphic there. obviously a back three, which is what they're trying to play. They've gone to a wing-back system, and they brought Dorgu in recently.
Yeah.
Garnacho and Xerxes playing as two number 10s behind Højlund, who's not really doing the business. And with the likes of Maguire and Casemiro in the side, players that managers have wanted to get rid of in the past.
De Ligt's had a challenging start, hasn't he?
Yeah, it's not. I don't know. I understand why he's trying to nail down the system, because that's his system, and there's no point sort of going forward if you're not going to stick to your principles. But so far it has not been pretty.
Do you think it's a long prep for next season?
I think
and
so.
And they have to hold the nerve as they slide, if they do slide down the way. But it's not like they're going to get relegated or anything, but it's about who they are and where they are, isn't it?
I think so. I think it's going to be, there's going to be some difficult times for them, and they've not got a great collection of players, and obviously he's identified players that he doesn't want in and around the squad, like the manager did before him, and it's going to take time. He's building it on his identity, and I get that. I don't get why pundits go overboard on when teams are not getting results when they could get results, but you're playing a different way.
Yeah.
You know, what
is fundamentally what the previous manager was doing,
you know, they're still in the Europa League, they're still in the FA Cup. They've got an opportunity to win both of those, and if they win the Europa League, they could get into the Champions League.
Would if they won it.
Yeah, they've been in the Champions League. So surely they are playing some, and almost like I feel like the Premier League is the sacrificing the Premier League for those two competitions to make sure they get into Europe. So I suppose if you're a Manchester United fan, you've just got to stick with it, and the standards have been so up and down in the last few years that I think you've got to stick with this manager, otherwise you're going to go and do exactly what they've done the last few years, which is rip it up and start again, and I just don't see the point in that. I think this is now where they've got to nail something down.
This is a story that we would talk about our football club for a good few years. You just can't keep doing the same thing and expecting a different outcome.
No.
And if they can pull off a magic trick, of your words, and I agree with them, sacrificing the Premier League in positional finish, but if that turned into a cup win, an FA Cup win, or indeed a Champions League entry through the Europa League, then they say, well, in a horrific period of transition with loads of injuries, look what we did. You know? But yeah, it's we as a team, because we are a team now since Moyes has turned up, need to demonstrate that at this time we're a better team than they are, and get the outcome that deserves. Yeah. And it's certainly not losing. And without ourselves getting carried away, we'd rather hope for a win, wouldn't we? Yeah. We're always going to have that nag. It's Manchester United, and they've still got that aura. Yeah. But you look at Man City, and before them, other clubs, what happens when that aura goes? Yeah. The average players in your squad, look what they are. Yeah. And your big name players think, I didn't sign up for this. And when you say they've had performances, and you say underdog or whatever, but that was big players putting on big performances and what they perceive to be a big game. Yeah. Do they, Manchester United players, think coming to Goodison for the last time is a big game or not? And can they step up? And we need to make it very clear to them very early on. You might think that, lads, but you're going to have to work hard. Yeah. And you could almost suspect they might not fancy it. Yeah. Right. And I think Beto will have a field day with those back three. Hopefully. And if he starts Decore, which I think he perhaps might, then the physical side of it is something that we can do early on. And then perhaps the game will open up near the end as well. And near the end, as in half an hour out. Yeah. Perhaps if Alcaraz doesn't start, he will certainly come on and create mayhem in those last 30 minutes.
Well, Man United's squad, what I would say is Man United's team is quite young.
It is.
You know, if you take out the average age from last week was 26.4 years. Now, you've got Maguire, who's 31, Casemiro, 32, and Bruno Fernandes, who's 30. So if you take those two out, excuse me, it becomes a very young team. So obviously that's where they're suffering at the moment. But obviously you just mentioned Everton's team. Let's just look at Everton's team from last week. Obviously, there's not loads of options for Everton at the moment. Decore is available, come back from suspension. Nathan Patterson might be available, but you'd imagine,
as you were,
you just go with that, wouldn't you? Because obviously you can't take Alvarez out the team. He's just got an assist and a goal, and everyone else in there is pretty much first choice because obviously the wide men, there's no other options, and isn't going to be for a while. Beto's in amazing form, and Everyone else picks themselves at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, Moyes' defaults is, and it's not rigid, but as you say, you know, don't change a winning team type of thing. But I do think he has a thought there that he has to get over about. There's a physicality side of it. Do I put Decore in or not? And then if you don't, sorry, if you do, but you still want Alcaz in, then you start to change others on.
Yeah.
So the easiest decision is same again. Yeah.
And you've got
Alcaraz fans are loving him at the moment, so they'll expect him to start, and he'll be, you know, enjoy being on that park.
And you've got a good player to come off the bench then in Decore. You've got an option after an hour or after 70 minutes for not only the position Carlos Alcaraz is in, but the two positions behind them as well, because he can play that deeper role. And
of course.
Obviously, we know we were really short on the bench last week, and obviously we had Tim Inaboonham and we had Ashley Young to come on, and past that it was all kids and goalkeepers. And Michael Keane, but at least now we've got...
Because if points of doubt, we have lots of injuries.
No, that's it, isn't it? I mean, we're going into this game feeling very confident, but we've got so many injuries to attacking players and that...
We need to get into March when we've only got a couple of games, and then have those 4 or 5 weeks with just 2 games in it, when we get some bodies back.
But it's a big week, isn't it? Because not only we've got this game, we've got Brentford as well on Wednesday.
Yeah, great time that.
And it's you know, and then we haven't got a game for 10 days. So
That's right.
So it's a case of if we could get the 3 points here and move up to 33 points, it would give us a bit of space between us and Manchester United as well. It would be absolutely huge, wouldn't it? Because then you're starting to look at how many more wins we can get, and where's that going to take
then you
us?
look, and we talked about this with some hope more than anything else, but at the moment we're doing it, which is we get a result at Palace, which would logically have been, we might get above those sometime soon. You got Man United, we're already logically working on that, and then of course the next game is Brentford. The next team up the league. And so you think, well, we're playing the right teams, they were all above us, and now they're not, type of thing. And then there's a gap then, and you probably end up 11th, 12th or something if you keep the run going. But we all know that a couple of wins makes a huge difference, and that's what we've had, more than a couple, you know.
No, it's been a very, very good run, and hopefully we can keep it going. But obviously, the major player for them is Bruno Fernandes. Let's just look at his numbers for the season.
Exceptional player.
Obviously, he made his debut against Everton, didn't he? And scored. He's got a good record. Appearances 24, 5 goals, XG of 7.85, 6 assists. Shots per game is 2 points.
Something.
7. And as you can see there, he's all over the pitch. That heat map actually looks like the inside of my throat. At the moment, there's live pictures on inside of my throat. No, he's a fantastic player, and no matter how sort of bad Man United plays, he always seems to have a good game. He always looks massively frustrated, but you know what? Fair play to me. He's someone who could have looked for the out by now and gone to a team who were playing consistently in the Champions League, and he's basically said, I'm staying in, I'm going to be the leader of this team going forward.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a tough game. Of course it's going to be a tough game. It's Manchester United, it's at Goodison Park, and we're not exactly flush with players, but we've got Beto in great form, we've got a team that knows what it's doing, and everything just seems to... And for Moyes, he's going up against one of his old teams, and I think that will be a massive thing for him as well. He'll want to get one over on them. That's not going to be the main concern, but
this team, right, this group of players, under a previous manager at Old Trafford, didn't bother turning up.
No.
Well, they will turn up.
Yeah.
This Saturday,
yeah,
and we'll see the difference. We're better now than we were then, and they're probably worse now than they were then. Work it out for yourself.
Yeah.
A much better result for us.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully. There you go. I'm just hoping I get to Goodison Park.
Stop whinging. Everybody knows you've got a sore throat.
I've got to sort everything at the moment.
Even James is laughing at you.
Only laughing. He's laughing in solidarity with me.
Is he?
That's what it is. He is.
Cry baby.
Yeah, cry.
I've upgraded him, James, from wuss to cry baby. Yeah.
I feel threatened in the workplace here. I feel
workplace bullying now.
Right, there you go. Let us know your thoughts in the comments on this one. Are you massively optimistic as an Everton fan and Man United fans? Are you thinking, oh, here we go again? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Make sure to give this video a like, subscribe if you haven't already. We want more great videos. Join us over on Toffee TV Premier. The link is in the description. The QR code's come on screen now. See you later.